Hi guys, my name is Rebecca and welcome to Yarn and Pajamas. Today we are hanging out on my bed with all of my squishmallows. My dog Trixie is down at the bottom of the bed, but she refuses to come up here and say hi to you guys. So y'all have to get on to her, tell her to be more friendly to everybody. Hey Trix, you want to come up here and see me? Come here Trixie. Where's my Trixie Durls? Where's my little baby Durls at? Does her one come up here and love on my udders? Trixie? Nothing. I'm getting nothing. She is on her blanket and that's where she is staying. Well, welcome back guys. Welcome to another Hooked on Murder, which is essentially just a crochet and chat. Grab yourself something to work on. I am working on another granny square to go into a triple thick pot holder. The pattern is by Sarah Satch and I will put links to it down below. But it's a little warm up here today. Yeah, I didn't realize it was so warm until I turned the fan off and then was like, wow, it's a little hot up here. So I do have me some notes because my memory has been failing me here lately, even though, and I think it's because I've researched so many murders all at one time that I'm getting them confused. So yeah, so I do have me some notes here, so I will probably have to reference those notes some. But today we are going to travel back to 1992. And we are going to hang out in Texas today. I think it's called Nassau Bay, Texas. And we are going to talk about the murder of David Harris. So David Harris was a very prominent orthodontist, and he married Clara Suarez, who was a Colombian immigrant that was also a dentist. She came to America to further her dentistry education. So they got married on Valentine's Day on February the 14th, 1992. So that is how our lovely couple met. So by all accounts, they were a great couple. They had 3 children. One was a daughter that was from David's previous marriage, but from everyone who was involved with the family, Clara loved Lindsay, the daughter, just as much as if she was her own child. And then the couple welcomed a set of twin boys during their marriage. So their marriage, they were married for 10 years, and it was blissful according to Clara. Like, she had no complaints. They built like an empire of dentistry, I guess. They had several dentistry offices all over the place. She was very successful in her field. He was very successful in his. And everyone just loved the couple. They loved the family. And this successful dentistry empire that they had allowed them to live like an affluent life. So they drove nice cars, they had a nice house, they had nice clothing, their kids went to a great school. Now Lindsay spent the better part of the year with her mother, but during her summer breaks she would come home or come to Texas and spend the summer with her dad and Clara. So we're going to fast forward 10 years now. We're going to go to 2002, and it is July. It's the summer. Lindsay is spending the summer with her family, and David sets Clara down and blindsides her. He comes clean about an affair that he's been having with one of his receptionists at one of his dental offices. And Clara is just blown away by this. She's blindsided. She did not know that her husband had been having an affair. She kind of like freaked out because she loves her husband. She doesn't want to lose him. She doesn't want to lose her family or the life that they've created. So she demands that night that they drive to the dental office, and she fires the lady that he's been having an affair with. And her name is Gail. So Gail has been having an affair with David for about, I'm gonna say like 6 or 7 months. So she knew that David was a married man. She knew that he had a family. She had been previously divorced. She had a child with her former husband, and they were pretty well off as well. And then after her marriage fell apart, she had to kind of like downsize, I guess. So I don't know if that was like some motive for the affair, or just the fact that she had just went through a divorce, and the fact that someone, was interested in her just, made her want to do that. So she is fired. David promises that he's not going to see her anymore. And, excuse me, and Clara decides to do a lot of changes to try to keep her husband, David. She quits her job to make sure that she is devoting as much time to her family as she can. She goes and sees a plastic surgeon, makes an appointment to have some like cosmetic work and implantations done. She starts going to the gym to try to lose weight, and she starts going to tanning beds to get some tan going on. So Clara is doing all of this work to try to save her marriage. Like, she is like holding on for dear life. So one night, David comes to her and he says, hey, you know what? It's really not fair to Gail that things are ending this way, because she didn't do anything wrong. She has done nothing wrong in this, and I should go and have dinner with her and explain to her what's going on, and end it that way, because how this is ending is just, it's not fair to her. So Clara reluctantly agrees to this, and David sets up the dinner. Well, while this is all going on, Clara is very, very suspicious. So she hires a private investigator to follow David and make sure that he's not still having an affair, and to make sure that when he goes to dinner with her, that that's what it is, dinner, and to kind of like have somebody eavesdrop on their conversation at dinner to see what he's telling Gail, so that she knows what's going on. So I think it's July the 24th. So it's not very long after he comes clean about the affair that he goes and he's having dinner with his mistress, Gail. So instead of going to the restaurant that they frequented, which was called Perry's or something like that, he takes her to the Nassau Bay Hilton. And this is the hotel that they would go to have their rendezvous. And it's also the hotel that the married couple, Clara and David, held their wedding reception 10 years previous on Valentine's Day. So that's where he decides to take her. So they do go to the lounge and eat. And this is all related back by the private investigator that was hired. She follows them. They go to this hotel. She goes in. Then once they get done eating, they go to the desk and rent a room. And he rents it under a different name. So it's not his name or Gail's name. So the private investigator goes outside because she thinks I'm going to be here all night because they'll probably stay all night. And so she has a friend come over and bring her some drinks and stuff. And she reports back to the company that she works for where they are at. So somehow Clara gets wind of where they are. So her and Lindsay, the 16-year-old daughter, David's daughter, are out driving around. They had first went to the Perry's restaurant, but couldn't find them. And somehow she got wind of that they were at the Hilton. So she drives to the Hilton. Her and Lindsay go inside, and they're asking what room that David is in. And they're like, the front desk is telling her, we don't have anybody here by that name. So they concoct a plan, her and Lindsay. Each of them's going to call the dad, David, and tell him that one of his sons is very sick and that he needs to come home. So first Clara does, and then right after that, Lindsay makes the phone call to her dad. And so then they sit and wait in the lobby for him to come downstairs. And as soon as the elevator doors open, Clara goes berserk and she starts attacking Gail right there in the lobby of this hotel. So the hotel people are like freaking out, and Gail is like freaking out because Clara is freaking out on her, and then Lindsay is freaking out on her dad. So she starts hitting her dad with her purse, like screaming like, how could you, why are you doing this? So finally they are able to separate Clara and Gail. And in all of this, somehow Gail's shirt gets ripped off. But David pushes Clara down and runs out the front doors of the lobby with his mistress, Gail. So at this point, can you imagine how Clara feels? I mean, your husband literally pushed you down and leaves with his mistress. So essentially, he's like choosing his mistress over his family. Like, he could have left with Clara and Lindsay, and really the outcome of this probably would have been different. But so the hotel management and employees, they escort Gail and David out, and they start proceeding to Gail's vehicle. So some more employees escort Lindsay and Clara out, get them to their car, and ask them to leave the property. So Clara gets in the car, and she sees Gail and David standing over by Gail's car, and she just floors it. She runs over, like, it's just like gunning, and like kind of like hits Gail's car and then hits David, and sends David flying through the air in this parking lot for like 25 feet. So then David is laying on the ground like crumpled up, and she just guns it again and just takes off and runs over him like he's a speed bump. Like, she boom, boom, all four tires just went. And then she drives back around the parking lot and does it again, and then backs up over top of him. So she ran over him like 3 times. So all the while, his daughter is sitting in the passenger side seat. So she's sitting over there, and I can only imagine like the screams and what's going on inside of that car. So after Clara stops the car, Lindsay gets out and is screaming and is going to her dad. And Clara gets out, and she's just like, people like are saying that she's just like in a daze, like she doesn't know what happened. And then when she realizes that David is hurt, she gets down on the ground and actually like picks his body up and is cradling his body and like asking him to hold on and stuff, that she's to not die, to keep breathing. And, you know, the ambulance comes, and unfortunately, David Harris has passed away from his injuries of being run over for 3 times. So all of this was caught on videotape by that private investigator. She caught the whole thing on tape. So when she seen David and Gail like basically running out the front doors, she grabbed her video camera and started recording. Now, she said at first she didn't see Clara. She didn't see Clara come out. She didn't see Clara get in her car. And she didn't see Clara driving towards them. It was like she was focused on Gail and David because she didn't know what was going on. And that's who, you know, she was there to follow. So all of this was caught on camera. And Gail never, Clara never denied like what she was doing at the time. But they claimed it was, let me see what they called it. It was like passionate murder, I think is what it was. Sudden passion murder. So the jury did find her guilty of sudden passion murder at her trial, and she was sentenced to the maximum penalty, which is 20 years in prison for that, for sudden passion. And she was sentenced on Valentine's Day, February the 14th of 2003, to the 20 years in prison. Now, Clara is out of prison now. She was released on parole in 2018. And this February, this month right here, it marks the end of her parole. I don't know what day, but her parole is over. So she is out of prison now, and hopefully is off parole, that she didn't do any violations or anything. So that is the story of the murder of David Harris. Now, my question is, what do you guys think about this sudden passion killing? Is that what I called it? Yeah, sudden passion. Like, when I was reading this one, I was just like, I could not imagine what transpired in that hotel lobby. I could not imagine what this lady felt when her husband pushed her down and then leaves with his mistress, the woman who he said he was going to stop seeing and that he didn't want to throw his marriage away for, and all of this. And for your husband to do that, it's like I almost feel sorry. I feel sorry for Clara. Like, I couldn't imagine the humiliation that she felt, the betrayal that she felt. And it's happening in front of strangers, and it's happening in front of your daughter, a person you consider to be your daughter. I couldn't imagine all those feelings that she was having. I'm not trying to excuse anybody for murder, but I kind of see it. They called this murder the Mercedes-Benz murder because she was driving a Mercedes-Benz at the time. But I really see, like, I know that some people have like mental breaks, like it collapses, and I could see that being one of those times where something collapsed, because like, I felt sorry for her. I still feel sorry for her. I cannot believe that her husband would do her like that. Somebody that she's trusted, somebody who she put before her own needs. She put him above herself. And then he starts dating this little flues from the dentist's office. And it's like, I feel like she had some culpability in this as well. I mean, you can't do this to people and expect them to just be like, oh, okay then. I mean, I really feel for Clara. I feel for David as well. He didn't deserve to die for his choices. But I get the sudden passion finding. I really do get that. And instance. I don't feel like she done it in cold blood. I don't feel like she planned it. I feel like in that moment, like she was not who she had been. She was like mentally, she was just gone. She was broken. So I'm glad that she was punished because, you know, you can't just go around running over your husbands. But I really do I feel for Clara. So what did you guys think about this murder for Valentine's Day? I was very surprised to stumble across this one. I'd never heard of it. And then it had so many references to Valentine's Day that I thought, oh, this would be the perfect one to crochet and chat about on Valentine's Day. So let me know down below your thoughts on sudden passion murder. Can you see how someone would go like in the heat of the moment and do that? Or do you think, no, I don't believe that. I believe that she still had her wits about her and that she made the intentional decision to run him over 3 times that day. So let me know your all's thoughts on Clara and David Harris. And let me also know if you find that Gail had some culpability in this murder as well. Should she have been, I know like there's no legal laws that were broken, but should she have been held somewhat accountable in the, I guess, community's court and in the community about what had happened? Like if she had never done it, you know, kind of deal. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below. And I will see you guys in the next murder show, which I'm going to record right now. I'm going to do 2 of them right now. So I'll be wearing the same outfit in the next one that you see me in. So I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.